Right, so here we are finally with part 3 of the BT-5. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, you should probably go and watch them. Because this is just going to be the example battles. Isn't that exciting? Right, so first things first, we are going to show what not to do in the BT-5, ideally. So you can see the ammunition loadout there. I've got 3 of the solid shots and the rest of the other one. But yes, initially I'm thinking, right, we're in BT-5. People are mucking about in the spawn. But what we're going to do is we're going to go and flank round to the left. Try and cut off that area of approach. As it turns out, nobody goes that way, so we spend most of this battle doing nothing. Which, you know, it's one of those things that happens sometimes. Luckily for the BT-5, it's fast enough so that if you do find that you've gone to the wrong place, well, you can just drive to the correct place. And there we are, we're at top speed. You can hear the little engine going. Anyway, I'll skip forward a bit because nothing happened. There I am. And I noticed that our capture point is being captured. So, I'm gonna drive on back. I'm gonna stop them from doing that. Now, this is where you get to see the consequence of what happens if you drive around, you know, bombing around the towns, not really paying attention in your BT-5. That's not really something you want to do because, you know, you can't really afford to make mistakes in the BT-5. Anyway, listening out, I'm hearing a cannon somewhere. See something shooting over there, but there's Panzer IV heading that way, so I think, well, he can sort of deal with anything over there. But it turns out, no, he can't. There's an AB-41 with a 20mm cannon. And you can see it goes straight through the armour, as if it weren't even there. So that's why, when driving the BT-5, always pay attention. Anyway, this next battle is a little more successful, and so I shall show it in full. Now, we just got to switch over to the BT-5 from the T-26. And, yes, put the old forest camouflage on this time. And you can see I've adorned my tank with some nice bushes, so that hopefully the enemy will find it a little harder to spot. In reality, of course, all these bushes would have immediately fallen off, but, yeah, this is War Thunder, so realism has nothing to do with it. So, initially, I think I'm going to head down the middle towards B, but then I remember I'm in a BT-5. And that's not really what I'm supposed to do, so I decide I'm going to go around the back of A and sort of be as far to the north as possible. So hopefully anything heading towards it won't be looking in my direction. And I can use this tank like a little sniper tank. Which it is pretty good at, despite the fact that its gun isn't particularly accurate at long range. Mainly because you only need to hit the target and you'll do serious damage to it. Anywho, so we're driving around the north, and I think about going down to the lake, but I'm not sure if there's a way through there, so I'm just going to go around this way and be extra special careful not to poke out before I'm ready. Just take a quick look through the binoculars, see if there's anything around. Seems that none of our allies went this way, they're all a little bit further south. I'm going to drive across this gap after making especially sure that there's nothing there. And I can see some shooting going on in this direction. So, let's see what there is. And there's a first target. Or at least I thought that was a rock. There it is. Take out the driver and the gunner on that Panzer 35T, and let's quickly switch targets to that Swedish thing. But then something else notices me, so I decide to drive back a little bit, get behind cover, and wait for that Swedish thing to show its head. There it is. And it's taken out. But then there's a French tank that appears to have seen where we are, and he's shooting his little machine gun. There's a D2, which is quite heavily armoured. And as you can see, the standard shell bounces right off. So I switched to the armour-piercing round, and this is the sort of situation where that round is a little bit more useful, because it goes through the turret, kills the gunner. You wouldn't be able to do that with the APHEBC round. Anyway, he's just hiding, waited for his gunner to come back. Well, then he starts pulling back a little bit, and the armour around the engine block on the D2 is a little thinner, so I'm able to pen it with the APHEBC shell. So I just keep shooting him in the engine so he can't repair it. Can't get through the turret, and eventually set him on fire. And I figure, right, well, I'll just keep him on fire, let him use his fire extinguishers, and let him burn to death. There's no point in unnecessarily risking ourselves to shoot at something that is probably going to die anyway, and indeed it seems that he hasn't researched his fire extinguisher yet, so he slowly burns to death. Anyway, next victim. I think I can hear something coming from this direction, so I pull back a little bit. But looking over that ridge, I can't see anything, so I decide to go this way. It's best not to go down the middle of things, especially in a BT-5. Anyhow, so we're going to go around this little bunker, see if there's anything else here. There's a few things popping up on the map. Being extra specially cautious, as you always should be with the BT-5. Remember, your speed can get you into a lot of trouble if you're not careful. Just taking a look, and I'm feeling this spot is a little bit exposed, so I pull back. And I'm gonna go round the other way. Going down this little valley. Doesn't seem to be anything hiding behind there, so I'm gonna go straight forwards and see if I can't surprise anything coming out of the enemy spawn. Not gonna go too close to the spawn, of course, because that is scummy behaviour, and also the enemy can see you. And that's not something you want them to be able to do. Now, here's something that I don't see enough people doing. I turn off the engine so I can hear what's going on. So I found that is very useful, because tanks are quite loud. And so, if you can hear them, you know where they are. So, I would encourage you to do that practice whenever you can, and there goes a Panzer 38. Just turn off your engine every now and then and have a listen. Anyway, there's something else over that little ridge line. But I don't really want to go over the ridge line because that is a very exposed sort of area. So I'm just going to hold here for a bit, think about what to do. There's no shame in pausing every now and then in War Thunder, because a thought-out plan is better than no plan at all. Turn off the engine, just to have a listen. And so nothing else can hear me. And I think, right, I'm gonna go down back the other way and see if there's anything going on at B. So, there we go. Just keeping a little bit out to the right and to the left, as you always should. Situational awareness is key. This is a little bit exposed along here, but luckily I get away with it. Just keeping an eye out towards the northern spawn. And a cheeky Stuka drops a bomb. You can see that even though that landed quite far away, it still, did damage. Because the armour of the BT-5 is that thin. Thankfully, however, most of the crew escapes unharmed. Well, relatively unharmed. Now I can see some shooting and explosions going on around here, so I'm gonna carefully take a little look, have a little listen. There's a bunch of planes buzzing about, so it's more difficult to hear the tanks, but, friendly Stuka flies over with a enemy Stuka shooting at him, which is quite interesting, but, not really what we're supposed to pay attention to. I can see some things on the map to the east, so I think, right, I'm going to go and try and intercept them. Now, this is very dangerous because I'm leaving my whole left flank completely exposed to the northern spawn. And you can see that this will eventually get me into trouble, but I'll shoot my machine gun at some clumps of bushes just in case. I pull back because I'm being strafed. But luckily he only has rifle caliber machine guns, and the BT-5's armour is, luckily, just thick enough to withstand that. So, strafing over, I see something directly to the left, and I'm going to go and investigate. Seems as though one of our friends is engaging a hostile tank of some sort. So I'm going to drive through this little logging camp and see what's going on, and oh ho! There's a Panzer II and he's just killed my friend, so I quickly spin around and I just get in the gun on, but there you go. I get hit from behind. Well done to that Panzer 35. And you see just how, how the slow elevation of the gun on the BT-5 can get you into trouble in this sort of situation. It takes a little while to get the gun on target. Anywho, I have a backup tank, so I decided to paint it in the Spanish Republican camouflage, because as we all know, the Spanish Republican flag is the best flag, because it's got purple in it. But this battle is pretty much over, so I kind of wasted that respawn. But never mind. So, there you have it. What to do and what not to do in the BT-5. And I don't run a premium counter anymore, so the rewards are a little bit rubbish, but there you go. It is a low tier battle after all. Anyway, so hopefully you enjoyed this demonstration of the BT-5 in War Thunder. And thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, well, why not go, press that little subscribe button. That would make me very happy indeed. And if you haven't seen them, well, go back and see part 1 and 2, and also my previous videos on other low-tier War Thunder trash. Yes, thank you very much for watching. Oh, and, by the way, I'll probably be setting up a Discord soon, so if you want to speak to me directly, then you can do that there. Anyway, yes, that's about it, all of the administration. Thank you again for watching, and hopefully see you next video. Goodbye.